What's going on, everyone? This is Miguel from Retro Basement, and I wanted to do a quick review on The Fall Part 2. But we have to go back to The Fall Part 1 and talk a little bit about the storyline because it's somewhat all over the place and a little bit odd. But the storyline of The Fall Part 1 starts off with Erin, an artificial intelligence AI on board of a spaceship. She crash lands on a spaceship, thinking a human's occupying a suit that she's implanted in as the AI of that suit. But she later finds out that there is no human within the suit that she is occupying as the AI of that suit. So what happens, her personality splits and she basically goes on a rampage and wonders about her own existence. After this occurs, the suit is eventually reobtained with Erin, the AI, within it, and the suit is dismantled. So during that time, Erin is able to escape from that suit into cyberspace, from my understanding. After that occurs, this is where the story gets a little bit even odder. Part 2 of the game starts, and she's fighting for survival and transferring her program into other AIs. There are other AIs besides her, like a butler within the game. And this is where the game starts off. This is a Metrovania type game, by the way, developed by Over the Moon. Shout out to them and thank you for the code, I appreciate it. Anyway, Erin's fighting for survival, and it's really awkward because her mental state is so destabilized. This is where the quality of the game gets a little odd. It's not a significant drop, but there's things that you have to do and there's not many clues, which is a little bit perplexing. I found myself, and maybe I'm just an airhead, I found myself stuck in certain places within this game for about an hour. And that was a little annoying to go back through the same phases over and over because cycles pass by, and what cycles are, they're days. And sometimes you have to let a cycle pass by before you can do the next event or find the next object. A cycle, a day has to pass by, sometimes maybe even 2 days, just for an example, before you can move on to the next thing that you have to find within that level, which is frustrating. I didn't know that, and I found out that eventually, and I was like, oh my gosh, I went through that cycle about 5 times before I finally figured it out. And the way I figured it out, because Over the Moon sent me a guide that I did not want to use, but I got so frustrated that I decided to use the gaming guide to get past that particular level, because it was something I had to do. The butler has a conscience as well, but Erin takes over that conscience, and the butler's owners are dead. And for some reason, he does not realize that. His mind is all twisted as well, just as much as Erin is, but she takes over his body. And you're on a fetch quest within this first level that you get into. And what happens is, on that fetch quest, you have to find different knickknacks and turn certain things on and off in order to progress to different parts of the stage. And that's very frustrating. But when it does the Metroidvania thing, it works. And I wish there was more of that within the game, more than the fetch quest and turn this on and go through cycle stage. But the Metroidvania, when it goes through it, when you have your little gun, when you're doing your jumping, when you're fighting these other entities within the cyber world, because you leave your body, and the reason you leave your body, you have to hack into certain things, and to hack into certain things, you have to destroy certain elements that are blocking your way. Then you return to different bodies, or different AI bodies besides the butler. There's multiple bodies that you will hack into as Erin to fight for your survival. Find the whole meaning of your existence, etc., etc. It's kind of a typical story, but it's fun. And the best part of the game, in my opinion, is the Super Metroid part of it, the Metroidvania style of this game. It's also have some point and click elements. Yeah, they're kind of cool. I like it. It reminds me of the old PC days where you have to point and click. Sometimes it's a lot of trial and error to get to where you want to get to. But I always found myself pointing and clicking here, moving this, turning on this, seeing what worked to get me to the next part of the stage. And sometimes it was a hit or miss because, like I said, sometimes you have to go through cycles. The structure of the controlling is fairly simple. The graphics are nothing to write home about. The character development within that story, it's good. I'm having fun. I like robot stories, so it doesn't bother me too much at all. But The Fall Part 2, the game is all about its story. It's not about its visuals. It's not about the aesthetics, which are visuals. It's not about the controls. It's not about the music. This game is purely story based. And the best way to know if you're going to enjoy any of this story is look back at one of my videos that I did. I've done 2 videos. This game is about 10 hours or 10 plus hours to beat, depending on, how fast you are with puzzle solving. And I would say it's rewarding if you like a good story. It's not a bad story, but it's probably nothing that you're going to be like, oh my god, this is the greatest story of all time. But be warned that the best parts of this game are the Metroidvania type moments, and they're sometimes few and far in between. The music is okay, like I said, and the story's not bad, but the controls are good. It's pretty intuitive. I had no problems with the controls. It maybe took me about 1 to 3 minutes to pretty much get a good handle in regards to controls. But the puzzle solving can be quite tedious, I warn you again. So the pros for this game: the story's not bad, the music's okay, and I love the Metroidvania type levels. The cons, there are not enough Metroidvania type levels. The puzzles are annoying as hell sometimes. The enemies or the bosses are not very difficult. They're easy to get through once you learn how to navigate and control your powers, such as the gun, and jump during the right moments, and traverse through those boss battles or enemy battles, which are not very often, because a lot of times you have to leave your body, and in order to get access to other parts of the game, you have to beat what I like to call these viruses or infections within the system. Once you eliminate them, then you progress on. The regular enemies are extremely simple to get through, and the boss battles are nothing to cry over. I don't think anyone will have trouble getting through any of the regular enemies or the boss battles once they get to them, leading up to a conclusion of a stage, or leading up to a mid part of the stage where you have to eject yourself from your body, fight these viruses, is what I like to call them, beat them, and go back to the AI that you've taken over, then progress through the level, which is fairly simple. It's just the pacing can be extremely slow, and the graphics are okay, but it's an indie game, so I wasn't expecting any graphics to blow me away. The graphics can be a pro and a con, depending on what you like. So, this is my review for The Fallen Part 2 for the PlayStation 4. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that bell button to let you know when I come out with new videos. Take care.